眠るがいいさ。せめて今は甘い夢を。眠るがいいさ。せめて今は甘い夢を。
This is already exciting. Is this tangled on something? What the hell? One moment. Alright, I think I got scammed. It was not, but it felt like it was. Alright. Did a little bit of house cleaning already on this account. Where I left off last time, I had pushed, I think, to stage 4 in Babel. And I was doing... We did Annihilation 1, which was pretty dope for a account that's like 5 days old, 6 days old at the time. So we unlocked Annihilation 2. Oh, we unlocked integrated strategies as well, which will be spicy if I try to do, because I have on this account, because it's new, I don't have like a full friends list or anything. There's one dude in here. If people add me, I'll approve them. The goal is eventually to give this account away to someone. I'm not entirely sure how I will go about doing that. I guess asking people if they know someone that would want it, preferably someone that's not just going to have it as a second account themselves. I'd rather it go to like an actual new player when I'm done with it. But so I think I can get a little bit further in Babel. I think I want to try the Annihilation 2 again, just because I had some ideas, and I wanted to redo the Skull Shatter fight, because I think maybe the way I was doing it before was slightly overcomplicated, because I had gone for a castle strat kind of using the strategy that they imply on this stage, the defensive tiles. And that meant actually tanking Skull Shatter. But there is another strategy, which is just to not tank Skull Shatter. I didn't test the Phase 2 AoE damage, so I kind of just wanted to see how that would go on a practice run. So, was Shaw my... I needed Plume on this. Don't need Cliff Heart. That's Annihilation stuff. I don't think I'll need her, but I'm going to take Kuora just as a backup, because this is... I just want to see if this is like a complete disaster or not. Because one of the issues that I'm going to have is I'm going to run into maybe problems with DP. So... I am a little curious about how things will go. And we want Lapland on top, I think. Oh no, these guys are like this. I might have messed up deployment order already, to be honest. I haven't done this a ton. Oh shit. No, I need to get Lapland out sooner. We'll do one more, because the deployment order, I don't think that's enough reason to, but I'm just curious, because like, my biggest criticism, the biggest challenge I had in the run where I cleared this was just how much DP I'm getting from our DP Vanguard, Fang. Like, Fang has been a liability. It's been rough, because I felt like a lot of the stages were hard just because of Fang's deployment cost not really being worth how long she can hold out. And you see, if I deploy whatever. My concern is deployment order. So the more DP I get early on, right, the easier it is to have a deployment order where I don't just get murdered right away. And so on my main account, when I tried this with low rarity, but it's like I have all of the low rarity characters, right? I'm not... Oh, I still have skill 2. Well, that's a problem. It's not quite the same as... It's not quite the same as when I'm low rarity, but like all with actually a newbie account. And I didn't even get them. Holy cow. So even with low rarity on my main account, I killed Skull Shatter here. But I was able to get everything else out quickly because I could use Myrtle instead of Fang. I didn't have to use Plume at all. And here, they're at half health. And like, you know, my cruise was maxed out, max trust. I think I had a Jessica that was level 60. E1 60 or something like that. And so, like, that's crazy. The difference in power, but using even similar rarities, but just on my endgame account versus a proper new game like that, this this strategy, I don't think it's gonna go better. So I don't feel bad. I don't feel like a complete idiot. That's the good news. I think I was. Well, we'll see. You know. Can I? Oh, she's really going at it, man. Yeah, and like I'm like what even leaked, I don't even know. I don't know if it's a ground unit or drone. I guess it's not terribly important.
何をま亡霊だってお前を救えないし。
ドクター、あなたの考えが弓を引いて狙い。あなたのお薬です。受け取って。落ち着いて。承知した。サンダーストーム。どの矢をクイーンが指先に集まる。
This already isn't a clean run, but I should have had her on skill 1. I think if she was on skill 1, I wouldn't have leaked whatever got through there. Bit unfortunate. So this does work, but I don't think it's easier than what I had done. Although, the strategy that I had used last time would have been way better if I had a gravel. At any rate, I was just curious about that. I do want to level up some of my guys. I don't know if I need this yet, but I think I can get more of our units up to respectable. That's not gonna happen. Were there skills that I could do? I could make these. I don't want to use up all my tier 1s because I'm going to have to raise new ops. It's not terribly important. We got that to 7. That's good. I think Cruz is now... It might be worth putting her at 55 just for her talent upgrade. But I'm a little, like, worried about needing it spread out more.
Thank you.
I'll save some of the experience for now. I did get an Estelle from recruitment, and that will help a lot in the future unless I get another Centurion. Centurions are, I don't want to say they're mandatory, but they're extremely useful for early game accounts. And Papukar has the fundamental issue of not scaling that well because you can't E2 her, and Centurions get a huge power boost at E2. So just the fact that she's a physical damage dealer that gets pretty limited on the total amount of damage she can ever kind of hit, like the upper limit. And unlike Midnight, who can do arts damage, which I think allows you to like push them further and longer than most 3-star physical damage dealers, with the exception maybe of Cruz, who you're not using on armored enemies anyways. I've never been a huge fan of Papukar. Even her popularity in IS4, I think, is not really deserved. I used Midnight personally over her and didn't have any issues because by the time you would have issues, you're not using Midnight anymore. Or you're just using him to be like a 2-block and not really for DPS. So I think we can try Annihilation again, just because there's a few things I wanted to change. And I don't know if I'll get any further because this is still experimentation. And again, I'm going out of my way to not look up stuff or refresh my memory on things because I want to have, I want to use kind of the knowledge I have, the experience over the years of playing the game, but I want to have to like rethink through the problems to see how I approach them and also explain my mentality, because that will allow me to better make kind of like a guide for new players that doesn't have, like I said, if I go into my on my main account and do these things in with low level, it's not the same. It's so different. But the point is a guide that doesn't make players... Oh, what am I... This is not what I wanted. Holy cow. Wrong one. We wanted, this. No, that's not right. This. Can I do this? I can do this one too? We're not going to do that one yet, though. That would be crazy. Thinking through it real quick. Yep. I am pretty sure we won't complete this. I would be amazed if I can one-shot this. I do want to do a little bit of experimentation here. So last time I had Fang here, and I feel like that limited the positions because I kind of want Lapland and Liskarm to be in a row for how their for how Liskarm's talent works, and it was this row that got killed. So I really want Liskarm to be here. There's not a lot of places though that I can put Fang where I feel like it's not a huge liability, but I feel like if I put her here, she will definitely live long enough to where DP won't be why I fail. So I think I have enough to kind of do this. Yeah, I do. I have barely enough. And then I need to get a healer out. Well, I also need Shaw. So I'll keep an eye on their hit points because I want to get a Shaw. We had Shaw here last time. And then the Wraiths came from here and we don't have the damage to kill them. So we're going to try a pusher here. But I don't think that works for the guys that come from here, so that's what the puller's for. And some of the knowledge I have from doing this in the past is unavoidable, like stuff like that. But that would have been things we would have had to figure out from trial and error anyways, like that side of optimization. So I don't feel too guilty about if it's knowledge about where enemies come from and needing certain units for that. Because I think it's kind of bullshit that you can't like see where enemies deploy on a stage and what enemies are on there, like without. The best thing you can do is use practice permits, but that's not even an option on Annihilation, so I feel like it's not unfair for me to consider this the the proper way. Yeah, we have more than enough time to do deployment in that order. I don't think I'll get Arketo here that quickly, but maybe it's more valuable for me to get Lava. Is Lava cheaper than a healer and... Is it literally the same price? That's hilarious. It's the same price. Alright then. Oh, it's the wrong skill! Hold on. No, we don't want to update that. I'm so dumb, man. I can't believe I had the wrong skill. But I do know... It's good that I know that... that works. I think actually I have this updated now. No, it's still just one. Okay. I know that skill 2 is not going to cut it. Skill 2 is amazing, but the way scaling works, especially with damage, it's like one of those skills that gets better with levels and masteries. And the lower the level you are, the more skill 1 is better than skill 2. And at a certain point, that switches. But even then, I still use skill 1 a lot. Skill 1's just, it is a good skill. Now, if only I had Texas instead of Fang.
みんな私に
We are working on the pin boards. We'll get her eventually.
みんな私に続け貫く
持ちこたえてください。チャージ。
貫く貫く
一発で仕留めます。
So we are going to do lava first. And I don't know if that's the right answer, but we'll find out. I'm not sure if I can do Cliff Heart. Well, we don't actually need Cliff Heart yet.
みんな私に続け
I watched my run on this a bit to see where things kind of went off the rails, and I want to say around 300. I can get rid of Shaw and have Cliff Heart by that point. That's not a problem.
何を待ってる。怖くはないわ。
みんな私に続け
And at some point we'll put Cruz here, and all of the guys that throw the grenades, they'll hit Cruz, not Shaw.
主の祝福があらんことを。
貫く
And we still have 2 units left, so in theory, right, Cruz and Mouse, and then I can swap.
みんな私に
I think I can swap. I don't actually know, but I'm pretty sure I can swap.
弓を引いて
So
狙いを定めて放つ。
I think I can deploy Mouse without running
みん
into
な
problems,
私に続け
and then hopefully that'll help these two stay alive on the last wave. In theory,
弓を引いて
that's the thought process. Who knows if it will succeed or not. These guys I'm not too concerned about, but it's the weebs. It's the sword weebs.
狙いを定めて放つ。
One of them is a red one. Arketo's on skill 1 now. I think that will help. I mean, I think they're just medium armor. I don't think they're heavy armor. So Arketo should be able to do some damage to them.
ここからはスムースな。
貫く
So now we have 3 block in both lanes. And because Liskarm's attack isn't as good as Lapland and Mouse, anyone that's here, we're not going to have to wait only for her skill to proc to have decent damage on this tile. And at a certain point, we probably won't even need Fang. I mean, in theory, everything going well, all I probably have enough already because it's going to be swapping Shaw for Cliffheart. I haven't seen the Wraiths come through. Maybe they're in the 200s wave or at the end of this wave, I'm not sure. But yeah, Cruz is going to be eating these grenades. Shaw is not going to be taking any damage. Technically, even if Shaw did, Perfumer would heal some of it.
狙いをほらしっかり。
I do not, man, like this wave. That happened last time too, man. These guys just freaking murk our Arketo.
みんな私に続け
But we won't need her until her redeployment comes back up, so I'm not terribly concerned. I just like the damage just seems not. It's the red ones, huh? Like, did they do more? I don't know. The damage doesn't seem that intimidating, but in that particular instance, with the 3 of them going, it's like semi-impressive. Like, it adds up for sure. Die. Now, I don't think that happens again. So we're in the, I guess this is actually technically the 4th wave. It's every 50. But in this portion, I think this is where we see the Wraiths. I'm not sure. Yeah, here they go. From here. And if I recall, this works. Oh, we have the damage to kill them just from Arknights. That's freaking awesome. I love Arknights. Look at that. Annihilated. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't even need shock. So I think that if I have to redo this again, I might be able to take shock completely. Oh shit. Completely out of the picture. There's not a lot of time between that Wraith and these guys coming. I probably have enough DP to where I don't even need Fang out. Oh shit! Killed it! This could be a problem. I think I'm gonna leak this. So I can't put Mouse out that quickly. Yeah. Son of a bitch. Alright, note to self, I can't deploy Mouse until after this wave. And that way I can have both Cliffheart, or actually, you know what? I wonder if Shock can probably push these guys. That's the other thing that I can test. I should have been watching that. And now, our weebs have arrived. Come on, Arknights. You'll be useful, because the splash here. Yeah, see, it's just consistent damage. S1 it's always been good. And I'm hoping that Mouse here reducing the attack of the red guy and having the tank here. Come on, dude. What is with these guys dealing so much damage? Yeah, no problem. So the only thing is I need to maybe wait until this one to do Cliffheart. Because I think eventually these guys come out of here. And I don't think Shock can push them. Even though they have the same force like the Polars, the force... God damn. These fucking guys. Why do they do so much damage to Arknights and freaking Perfumers just tanking it like a champ? It doesn't even make sense. So I guess I also have to keep an eye on Arknights. But I'm just looking for... Ooh, no. Our defender failed. even with all that. Like, maybe having Arknights up would have solved that. But we might need, I might need her on skill 2 for the AoE. I'm just worried about the stun if I do that. And this is gonna be over. It's... Like, I don't think that'll work. Yeah, that's a desperate cope. If I place her here, just get one-shotted. So that's it. This is like pretty much the same spot I died last time, so... I still had the same leaks. Boo. Oh, I got what? 2 more. Alright. Can I do... Oh, that's... I can upgrade some people for sure. What to buy out of here? I mean, XP and LMD is always the... The reason why I'm buying the lower tier, not the higher, even though the higher ones are more efficient, is just so I don't waste any XP, like leveling guys up. I like over leveling. Alright. In the main event, I guess... It might actually even be worth leveling Estelle up. Because I'm using Shaw for things that Shaw should not be used for. Jay is an option. Jay would be really good on the boss stage. Man. I'll come back to Estelle if I have to. I think we can do the next stage at least. This one. The issue I was having last time was basically I was getting overrun here because Fang's DP generation is just not that great right now. And I'm not entirely sure what I can do about it yet. I think I'm going to try and put Lapland here. I'll have probably Fang here. No, because we want Lapland and Liskarm to be side by side. So maybe Fang here and Lapland and Liskarm in front. I can try putting, like... We actually want a chain to go. I can put Arknights maybe here. Plume is not the greatest option. I can also do... I don't know if Orchid makes sense. I lose a lot of like DPS, but she does have crowd control. I'm not really sure if that's valuable to us right now. And it would be nice if I had Estelle, but I don't know if she's necessary yet. We'll see what happens. I might just be like trying to push this account into territory that's just beyond where we should be. Just because of like trust, where we're at with trust, and yeah, I'm gonna put her there. It kind of matters where I put her because it's gonna determine what she batteries, and so it's gonna split batterying It won't only battery Lapland. I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem or not. And I also have to think about where I want to put the healer. Do I want to do it like that? So, the way this stage is laid out to get, like, good, efficient chains is kind of annoying. Because, like, having an ambusher makes it convenient because you can easily use these tiles to have, like, a 0 block here to have the chains go this way. I mean, I can get a chain going this way pretty easily by putting, like, a healer, a caster facing down or whatever. But the problem is like getting chains to go through here, this area is kind of a pain in the ass because I can't reach anything and I don't want to block these guys. And that was like a huge issue I was having before. And on my main account, you know, that wasn't an issue because my range DPS is strong and I didn't have to like min-max the chains. But if I actually do have to min-max the chains, this layout is obnoxious. And for sure, like, physical is just better here. See, that's not that good of a chain. I don't even know if it hits that tile or not. Jesus Christ. And Lapland's dying very quickly. Is she gonna survive? Oh, man. I feel like they're lying about the level requirement on this stage. It just feels like bullshit to me. Because this is effectively a stat check between DP and how much damage you can take, and I could have deployed ops a little bit quicker, but even if I had Arknights like pumping out damage and I had these healers out sooner, I still wouldn't be at like this much of a deficit, or I feel like I shouldn't be. And I don't have a lot of flexibility for like where to deploy other ground ops. Like I could put Mouse here facing this way and have another healer. Like maybe I can do this, but I feel like someone's still gonna leak, right? And then I can try and do like that and this. But I just, it's like not gonna be enough. And like Cruz doesn't have a healer. She's just gonna die now. Unless I get, I don't know, maybe like that for just for aggro and in healing range. But I'm just I don't have the stats for this, man. This is oh man. I'm curious how guide makers like discuss stuff like this, because like I know how all these operators work very, very well. I know their kits. I know when something is a stats issue or a deployment order issue or whatnot. But this just seems kind of ridiculous for what do they say the requirement is? And I know not my whole squad's not E1 yet. They're saying E130. Like most of my squad is in that range, but they're not skill level 7. They're not max trust, and I have like 2 operators that are, you could say, under leveled. But like when your tanks are dying from damage and your DPS doesn't have the damage to kill fast enough, and you're meeting like their theoretical requirements here, like this feels like a lie to me, because Like, these guys aren't too bad. Everyone is weak to physical damage, which in theory makes this, like, easy. But, they throw a lot at you early, like very early on in that stage 2, which means that you have like a certain amount of DP crunch. And I honestly think that DP crunch is the root of almost everything that's hard in the game. It's why Myrtle was such a big deal. Myrtle and Bagpipe were such big deals when they came out, was because the hardest content that you came into in the game in the early days was from having DP crunch. So there's a certain amount of time you have to get your ops out to a minimum level before you get overrun. Like, that's the most fundamental stat check there is in tower defense. And if you didn't have enough DP generation, it just didn't matter how strong your squad was. You get overwhelmed before you can get anything out. And no amount of strategy overcomes that. And so a DP crunch is if you think about like how much of a window you have to get all of that work done, the more you stress it, like the faster you throw stuff out and the stronger that stuff is, and the less time you have to deploy. And if you have slow DP generation, or it starts at a really low number at the beginning of the stage, then your window gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And that gets like hyper emphasized in contingency contract, which is why so many max risk clears had 3 vanguards. Like minimum 3 would be like Elysium, Myrtle, and Bagpipe just to get the DP. And Texas oftentimes as well in the squad, just for that 2 bonus starting out. And so like that's option 1 for making stuff hard. And the other thing that makes stuff hard on a fundamental level is it's if you have to manage redeployment timers, but you have to do it precisely. So for instance, if you have a limited amount of deployment and you need to min-max because you like just positionally you can't cover everything, if there's a very small window of time between where you need operators to be in one location or another with redeployment or skill cycles, that can make it difficult too, because there were instances, again, this mostly came down to like max risk, but when you have a relatively weak squad like mine right now, you run into the same issues that you run into when you're optimizing for max risk. And that's that when you don't have masteries, you don't have the raw stats and whatnot, and you're more reliant on those cycle times if something is down when you need it, or if you deploy them and you have to wait longer to get it. All of that, it closes your window of time that you have in order to be like the difference between 100% getting every last drop out of your squad, which is theoretically impossible because of human like the time you have to go click on something and activate a skill, which CN kind of manipulated for a while in their client by having like some emulator trick where they could pause and still select and move guys around and whatnot. But I mean, there's a physical amount of time where you have to select a skill and activate it, and if you have to do that in multiple places, you're going to lose a few frames here. So like that was kind of like that level of optimization was occasionally required for max risk. But again, you can kind of run into those same issues just by having a weak squad and pushing it to its limits. And this stage does not feel like Elite 1 level 30, at least not if you actually have if your squad is where it should be when you have these levels. Because like if my account was a month old and Elite 1 level 30, and for whatever reason I had leveled up a whole bunch more ops and had more trust at least on my core ops or more skill level 7s, I have no idea why I would be at this level if I had everyone at skill level 7 and max trust. Even if I built only 3 stars, at best I could have skill level 7. I would still be missing a ton of trust. So this feels like a lie to me. Man, I'm bummed though, because I really wanted to get that done, and I feel like I just have to spend resources upgrading my squad to do it.
おはようドクター
There is another thing though. I think... See, I'm kind of curious. If I compare that stage to this stage, which one do you think is harder? You know, like... I'm going to give this a shot, but let me take a look. I can't really use pullers here, but I can use maybe a pusher. Potentially. I don't know if it's a good idea. I can put a pusher here facing down. And we need a second lane. I'll figure it out.
Yoshi. 医薬品の準備は揃いました。
Caster.
私たちにお任せください。作戦準備をお願いします。注射薬の用意は整いました。承知しております。貫く。これが戦場というものね。戦っている時は眠らない。狙って。
Oh, son of a bitch. Do I really have to cover the bottom more heavily? Like, I don't know how long these guys sit here. I thought that more guys were going to come from the top. But I might have more time there, and maybe it makes more sense to put her down here. Or maybe actually both of them. Oh, the problems of not having these stages memorized. I know the highest one, but like all these middle ones, I don't remember these stages. That's super annoying though. I'm not a big fan of when you need trial and error to figure something out. Like, it's not... I like when they put cues in the stage so that you can intuit what you should do to a reasonable degree. These guys have armor. I thought it would be the thick boys. It's not the thick boys, but those are still armored. Man, that's annoying. So annoying. I think it's probably safer to do it that way. Do
現には3つの選択が、敵には3種の苦難があります。持ちこたえてください。弦の振動を感じて。みんな私に続け。弓を引いて狙いを定めて放つ。抗ってみなよ。わかりました。福音が指先に集まる。何を待って。亡霊だってお前を救えないさ。ええ、ほらしっかり。
I don't need that. I think we got it.
君にできるかな。
Yeah, we got it.
占いの結果が出たぞ。完全勝利だ。
We don't need these yet. We do need these. I just wanted the clear. And this is the last one, but we're not going to do that yet because we don't even need these. At least, I think I can get something built in the base. Need this. I think I can build another one. Yeah, I can. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, can I do this now? Oh, hell yeah.
Upgrading.
何か飲みませんか、ドクター。
I don't know why. It's fine. We're not gonna spend sanity on that. Do I want to get Estelle cooking? Or do I have somebody else that I need? Who's in here? We need Lisgarm. Oh boy. And now I need to get, these still cost it. Oh no, they cost more now. No! We need this dorm so that we're not losing so many guys here. That's, I think, more important right now even than the factories, because we've been having issues managing morale in here. And so this dorm means that even if I build this out and upgrade these and get more people, I'll get this floor before I get enough operators in here for the 3 dorms to be insufficient. And I won't need the masteries until I have E2s, which I could do. I mean, reasonably speaking, just farming the current event, the stages that I can clear easily, like I can get the mats I need to probably build at least an E2. I think I can get 2, maybe even 3 E2s during this event. And that will be massive because but the thing is like, I lose efficiency if I go and push story stages versus farming the event. And so that's kind of why I was hoping I could do that. But I don't mind if it's like a new stage down here, like unlocking something, because I gain efficiency. Like, the higher the stage I can farm here, the more efficient it is. And also, if I'm just farming the event, I'm getting like these lower level mats from missions for free, and I don't have to waste sanity farming it. But maximizing the base as quickly as possible normally would be the go-to thing. But we get so many events now that, like, any efficiency I get from a low-level base, it's going to pale in comparison to just farming the event, even if it's only stages 3 and 4 for the mats. because this store is the only reason I'd be able to normally even get an E2 in 2 weeks. Because when I mean, back in the day, there'd be like month gaps between events, and if you were playing during an event and you could barely even make it in there at all, and you'd not get a lot from the event store, and then it would end. I mean, if you were a new player, you probably don't even know to farm the event, and so it takes you like 2.5 months before you had like an E2 back in the day. Like, I remember how special it felt to get my first E2, who was Texas. And with that kind of knowledge, though, I know that farming the event is objectively the smartest thing to spend sanity on right now, because it allows me to develop the quickest. But it also means that when I go back to the story stages, like the problem I'm having right now of feeling under-leveled, even though technically I meet what they say are the requirements. Sure, maybe if it was all 6 stars that were E1 level 30. Like, I don't know how they got those numbers. But if you think about even low-tier guides, every operator in a low-tier guide is max level and skill level 7, and so they're getting the talent bonus and they have the full trust bonus, and I just don't have those advantages right now. And so, you know, if I... It bums me out. It bums me out because that stage, it just feels... It feels like with what they're recommending, maybe they were thinking, maybe I'm dumb and there's some clever way to do it, and I just... But I don't think that. Like, I'm fairly certain... I've played this game for a long time. I'm fairly certain that I'm not being dumb, and that if it's possible, it's with some obscene level of optimization that is going to elude anyone but like a Google AI that plays this game for 10,000 years, you know? So, what do I spend my sanity on? That is the question. The only thing I can think of is just farming Babel. I'm going to get a level if I do that, though, which is going to give me a whole bunch of sanity and kind of make that process a bit boring. But I kind of, just for shits and giggles, before I do any farming, I kind of want to try... I expect my teeth to get kicked in, because I'm not going to have any upgrades, nothing unlocked, no investment. I don't even have friends to borrow units from. And it's pointless to do this on easy, in my opinion. You're better off just failing on normal. Oh, man. Lapland's a good starter. Liskarman Cruise. Lapland and Ansel. Well, I probably even could get Perfumer, because I just don't have... I can't even use this. Do I really want Fang? I get Arketo and then like Shaw? Hell no. We can take our... Yeah, I know how this works. I take our Lapland. We'll take our Perfumer. And I wonder if I can even... I mean, does anyone put 3 stars in there? You know what? I bet I'm better off with, reserve operator for the win. How sad is it when a reserve operator is better than your 3-star? I mean, theoretically, people clear this with only reserve operators, but I feel like that's super tedious. Man, what I would give for skill level 7s. I don't know how this is gonna go. I anticipate that it will be entertaining. That does cover if I get overwhelmed and something leaks a little bit. It's not quite super optimal, but we'll actually do, it doesn't matter, does it?
これが戦場というものね。
We'll try it this way. You see, maybe I should have done it the... Well, she got her skill off in time. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking, is that maybe I just get... Oh my god. Oh, this skill takes so long without level 7. The materials on the Babel event are super perfect for my endgame account. It's literally everything that I need to recharge. But on this one, it's like, I really need grindstone. The tier 2s are good. So the stages I can get to, the farming stages, but like in the shop, yeah, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I need trust. I need a lot. I need trust, I need levels, I need skills. Oh my god. Not even possible. That's brutal. So brutal. That's actually a thought. Monthly squad. I still have to rely on my own ops, but this is... I know this first squad is like super good.
Everyone, prepare to deploy. And please keep in
This
mind
was
that
like one of the
coordinated
best
actions bring
monthly
victory.
squads ever. I mean, it was so good.
Here I go.
I'm not sure where I have a better chance of like stabbing them.
Here I go.
Probably doesn't matter. I'm sure Mudrock will just solo this.
The battlefield is a place of tragedy.
I remember when this
They come to understand this
mode
one
was
day.
released. This addition to this mode, I should say. And I saw this squad, and I was like, that's so amazing. This squad is dope. I knew. And like, in the history of integrated strategies, I think there's only been one squad that competed with this one. Like the second one, the one with Calci, is pretty strong too. I don't care about life. If I fail, it's... my success and failure is not going to rely on 3 life. And thanks to having freaking good units, we'll try this.
Everyone, prepare to deploy. And please keep in mind that coordinated actions bring victory. ready. Commence treatment.
I don't mind defensive SP skills on defenders. In theory, they can charge really quickly because of the.
Blood is boiling.
In theory, they can charge really quickly because of their block count, and if you have lots of guys on them, that doesn't always play out though. So there's kind of like a balance if you have a defensive SP skill. But one of the things that makes skill 2 so good on Mudrock is that it has a pretty low SP cost. So with a block of 3, even at right now at skill level 7, with this requiring 5, it's pretty easy to get that charged. And when you actually need that skill to trigger, is when you have like a lot of guys and you might leak, right? That's when you have the best chances of it triggering because of I think he's gonna go down there, but I'm not sure. Where the fuck does he go? Is he just gonna run around? I thought he stopped somewhere for a bit. Nope. Lame. Stupid duck. If I had Orchid leveled, I would have had her in the center. I probably could have gotten him a guard. Oh, that's going to be Lapland. Lapland and Mouse are really our only options. I don't even have a sniper. Specialist. Squad limit. That's not going to be terribly useful. These might be. Yeah, it's gonna be it. Unfortunate. Is this the other version? This is the other version where you have the guy here and the casters. I don't have a fast redeploy. I can still do it, but the problem is the casters. This guy. Oh, Mudrock's probably fine. We'll have faith in the Mudrock.
My equipment is ready. We can start anytime. Call for help immediately if you're injured.
Now we'll get some SP battery action. Actually, that was kind of dumb. Because I was going to put... I'm going to do that.
Battle stance ready. Get the hemostat. Oh.
No! Go off. Get him. Oh, come on! Did I get duped? That looked like a squib. Is that even worth it, though? I pay all that hope for a E1 level 46 star. I don't have anyone else leveled. I can't borrow anything. Oh, man.
ロードスにランデン修道院の My equipment is ready. We can start anytime. Here I go. 主の祝福があらんこと、弦の振動を感じて。Victory shall be mine. 弓を引いて狙いを定めて放つ。Call for help immediately if you 弓を引いて狙いを定めて放つ。さあ、あと少し。弦の振動を感じて。
Really use a
さて
upgraded
ど
Lapland.
うするかな。
I don't know. I think if this account were a month
弦の
old,
振動を感じて。
this would look a lot different.
ほら頑張れ。
There's also the limited banner is going to give us at least 10 free pulls, plus whatever I have from Arundum. I mean, whenever I get 6,000, I'll do whatever banner is on. I don't really care if it's limited or not, but guaranteed 10 pulls on the limited.
はい。
And
私が参戦したからに
that
は
will
当
give
然
us
の結果で
options
す。
as well.
これでもう誰もランデン修道院がラテラーノの飾り物だなん
Thank
て
God.
思いませんよね。
Sharp, save me. My roster's so thin. Nice. I think we can still do this.
問題ない。
My equipment is ready. We can start anytime. Battle stance ready. Eyes on me. It's showtime.
安心しろ。
Oh,
了解。
自分のための戦いを。
Oh, Jesus Christ. Really? I thought this spot, nothing could leak past there unless you... Am I on crack?
見つけました。弓を引いて狙いを定め
What
て
the fuck?
放つ。
Why am I leaking?
悪くない位置取りだね。
福音が指先に
What the
集ま
hell?
る。
That's bullshit.
Commence treatment.
Let me try
Ready
that.
for blood transfusion. Battle stance ready. Oh. 弦の振動を感じて。
ほら頑張れ。もうちょっとで僕に勝てるかもしれないよ。
連綿たる山々となる。弦 現には3つの選択が。
抗ってみなよ。
安心しろ。
福音が指
This
先
guy's
に
gonna
集ま
leak.
る。
I've played a lot of IS, and I don't remember guys leaking when you deployed there.
おい、私は友人
That's a
たち
bit
の目で
nuts.
戦場を見渡す。
Sniper, medic. We can't upgrade a sniper. We can upgrade a medic. I don't know if that's gonna help. I feel like this is a waste, but maybe I'll get lucky and we'll get a, we did get lucky.
My equipment is ready. We can start anytime.
Eyes on me. It's showtime.
Commence treatment.
Oh, victory shall be mine.
自分のための戦いを。大地こそが我が友。よくだよ。祝うよ。立ち上がれ。
抗ってみなよ。
福音が指先に集まる。
Is he gonna mess up my strategy?
現には3つの選択が。敵には3種の苦難があります。
あなたの了解。
さあ、あと少し。君たちが敵？手加減なしで頼むよ。僕に退屈させないで。
弓を引いて狙いを定めて放つ。
君にできるかな。
よくだよ。祝うよ。立ち上がる。はい、私が参戦したからには当然の結果です。これでもう誰もランデン修道院がラテラーノの飾り物だなんて思いませんよね。
A little risky, but we're gonna... Hell yeah, I want a collectible. Psh, have no specialists. Oof. Oh, man. Well, we'll see.
諸君、君らの顔なんて覚えてられないけど、まあ行こうか。
Battle stance ready.
What can I do? I feel like I just have to leak some. Ah, this is bad. No! This might be the end. I don't think there's anything I can do. No DP, high expense, and like normally what I would do is deploy an archer, but Arknights isn't going to be strong enough to like take out all this stuff right away. Again, so used to my endgame account being so limited, it's pretty hard. Pretty hard to do that. Well, that was less terrible than I thought it would be. I can probably get to, like with a really good run, I think I could get to the boss. But I don't think I can defeat, I don't think I can defeat any of the bosses, even with like a squad like that. Maybe if I got really lucky with recruitments. I mean, I guess, you know, like I said, there are people that defeat the boss with just the reserve ops. But the thing is that the, like, I mean, artifact-wise, I don't know, has anyone done it without any artifacts? Because I feel like artifacts make a huge difference when that happens.
Cancelled.
What? Oh, because that's already level 2.
Cancelled.
And I need these. And I don't think I have anything to make those. So I think I'm just in burn sanity mode. I think that's all I can push on here right now. Maybe I might just take like a few days off on this account to do like proper farming and leveling and stuff, because I've avoided doing that this whole time, and just because I wanted to see how much I could use strategy to push forward. But like there's certain things that I know I could farm and be efficient with, like the base. It's just so many distractions with, I wonder if I can do this. I wonder if I can do that. So I'm going to burn the rest of the sanity on, what do I need? 33, 27, keep the wrong button. 19, I need these. And then hopefully between farming mats, refining mats, buying skill books, getting everyone to skill level 7, getting 6,000 pulls saved up again. I'm sorry, 6,000 Arundum. 6,000 pulls saved up would be insane. And I really think next week we can have an E2 Lapland, skill level 7. I'm not going to worry about masteries on her right away, because the masteries are expensive, and I really want to put masteries on somewhere where it's like really incredibly meaningful. Given our squad right now, I don't really know who that is. Like, Arknights can carry pretty long at skill level 7 as well. And Liskarm, it's not super important. Like, she's currently our main tank, but that was that. I mean, the reason why I picked Liskarm is because of the, you know, the other factors, like me having Arknights, and I already kind of knew I was most likely going to take Lapland, just because she's well-rounded for a 5-star and could carry us pretty reasonably through the early game, to a certain extent, you know. She's not like the perfect operator by any means, but I knew I wouldn't regret investing in her, and so Liskarm allows me to synergize really well with what I had. I had a mouse as well, and but like, you know, skill level 7 definitely important, just because you get a pretty good power boost. But like, if her defensive skill procs more often, that's not really gonna help that much. What I really need is a gummy, right? and there's nothing that I actually have to properly tank. Because, like, Frostleaf is... I'm sorry, Frost Nova. I'm not going to tank her with a traditional tank. Like, I'm going to kill her with ranged units. And Patriot, I'm also... Like, the tanking Patriot is a flex. It's not like I'm leveling Amy up for a reason. And it's because I think new players should level their Amia and not just put her off until later, even if it feels a bit like a debuff in the early game. Like, having your arts damage be super optimized early game is not that significant, and in the Patriot fight, her S3 allows you to not need any RNG with different strategies. Like, I think at level 50 and Mastery 1, which isn't too expensive for her, I think you completely kill Patriot's Phase 1. I don't think she does it without Mastery 1. I mean, maybe if you push her levels, maybe you push her all the way up. Even then, I doubt it. I think Patriot still ends up with a sliver of health. I mean, you could do chip damage to him as well with other operators to finish him off, but I think that I think the most reliable strat is just to kill him in his Phase 1 using Amia. Phase 2 is tankable, but then you have to deal with the spears for longer the more you tank him. For a new account, that's a slightly problematic. For an endgame account, that can be pretty easily trivialized. I know I can do it with like a beeswax, which I don't have on here, and I'm not going to raise just for that. Or a bullseye, which is the same thing, you know. In theory, if they come out with any other tactician vanguards that allow you to deploy their unit on a range tile, because they're immortal, you can just infinitely tank his spears with that. That would be like a cheesable strat, but that's why Bullseye can do it as well. The other thing is, you know, I have an April, and she's relatively fast redeploy, so I could use like a, what is it, a 12F in an April if I take too long to defeat him. And I think that that would probably be the end of this account. I mean, I didn't have a specific cutoff point. I don't even know if I'm going to get to Patriot. I'm just feeling it out as I go and capture footage and play through this stuff and collect my thoughts on the new player experience. Because at some point I'm going to be like writing down like a timeline of what happened and refining the lessons and advice I had given from my past experience as a new player, but also going through this a second time. And then I'll start kind of making notes of areas of video in these streams that I want to chop up and put edits on. And then I can probably split it up into like a series of like 5 to 10 minute long videos on different subjects. From like positioning units, thoughts on positioning units, you know, thoughts on how to approach bosses with different mindsets, because you know, you could very easily fight a boss and get stat checked and lose, like trying to tank Patriot Phase 1, right, and being like, how is this even possible? And it's like, you know, with the knowledge that most of us have, or if you look up a guide, sure, but the point, in my opinion, of making a new player guide is not to teach players the optimal way to find Kyostin V and have the ops built that he'll use in those guides, so that they can just one-for-one copy and that's it. Like, if you go into that fight and you instantly get deleted, I think that it's valuable for people to maybe think like, instead of tanking, are there other options? Like, what tools do I have available? And like, if you've seen that before, like that, I can bring that up with Skull Shatter. That he's tankable, but he's also, the alternate strat is to just not tank him. And if I had a Gravel, I think that would be better, because you could deploy Gravel to bait out his ranged attacks where your operators aren't. And And again, like I said, I think the only leak was because I had like the wrong skill selected on Arknights. I don't know for sure, but I kind of feel like that was what was happening there. And now I'm gonna have a whole bunch more farming to do to burn that sanity. We'll probably stick with this stage. But I will say, I think this event goes on for 3 weeks, because this is a full event. It has like a MO stage, it has S stages, I think. I'm pretty sure this event is 3 weeks. I feel like I can complete it. I feel like we can get this account level high enough to... I don't know if I can buy out the shop. Maybe because I'm getting levels. That gives me a pretty big advantage, even farming these. I don't think I will do the EX stages, because that sounds tedious as hell. Like, maybe it's doable, but I don't think I have the stamina for it, you know. But I definitely feel like I can get the normal stages. Like, I think I can get all the way to 10. I just have to farm and level. And I might have to farm a little bit outside of the event for those grindstones, because if Lapland's skill, after using grindstones, if the next level uses something that I can buy in the shop, I'll feel like a dope for not burning like maybe the 50 sanity required or whatever to get 3 of them. And I don't think I'm going to get pulls in time to get green certs to get to page 2 to buy grindstones then. So... I really need Lapland at skill level 7, like, and Arknights, and both of them need grindstones. Man. Oh yeah, I optimized this as well. I forgot about that. My original strategy here, I had to redeploy a bunch of ops here, and obviously, you know, that was like a one-shot. I had no idea what they were going to throw at me, and I decided to make the run more efficient. I replayed it, and obviously I used the chain mechanics to come up with a clean run. And so you can see that, like, the deployment order now is way more optimized to make the chains go in this pattern, so that these Lancers, when they're going this way, they're not at charging speed, and so Feng can survive that. I mean, when I was doing this blind, I thought, you know, it made sense to put a tank here, and this was just for security, because I didn't know if Feng would just get killed randomly, and I'd need someone else. But, I didn't even need Lisgarm here. But I did optimize this run with the chains, so that, you know, this would be no issue whatsoever. Actually, now that I think about it, something else I can get away with for a pretty long time is leaving Arknights at E1. That's not really good for integrated strategies, but integrated strategies is like a permanent mode, so you don't have to like rush ops to build for that or to optimize for that, versus being able to clear events. And the thing about Arknights at E1 is that she's just going to be better than any of the 4 stars at E1. And if you have to E2 a 4-star in order to compete with a 6-star, you start running into the question, like, is there a lower cost actually lower at this point? And when we do raise her, we're going to want the masteries. It's just you need the optimal thing to upgrade. I mean, Myrtle, just because she's cheap and you want that DP, and even her masteries, you can even do her masteries before doing others, and this is assuming you're borrowing units. I haven't been borrowing units on this account, and that's like another thing. Some of the stages that I've been stuck at, you know, I'm sure borrowing a unit would completely change the game on that, even with the E1 limitation. But because Myrtle is a 4-star that people typically use for the whole game, even if it's not every stage. I mean, for some people it is, but it's crazy that I don't even have her. That I'm in chapter 4 without a Myrtle and a Gravel, and I can't get over that. Like, I just can't. I think about it and I go, this sounds wrong. Like, how is that even possible? But yeah. For most situations, that would be your first D2. But it's crazy. I've told every newbie ever the first thing you should E2 is Myrtle. And like, what if I were the newbie being told that? I'd be like, who the fuck is Myrtle? Who is this Myrtle you speak of? And I've tried to pull her from recruitment and just get lucky. And I haven't gotten the 4-star upgrade or guaranteed tags for her. Because she was my priority number 1. Were her and Vigna. And it's like completely blows my mind that I would not have, and I thought Gravel was guaranteed. I thought that they gave you after like a tutorial stage or something. I was so sure that they gave you a Gravel so that you could have a fast redeploy to use tactically. But Gravel is gacha. And it blows my mind that Gravel is a gacha unit. They should, if I were to give feedback to the devs, I would say Gravel needs to be given out like in chapter 1 or 2. I can't believe that she's not a guaranteed unit. I mean, people said that about Doberman, but that's just because of her position in the story and the fact that her talent is for 3 stars, right? Which newbies wouldn't even know without Elite 1ing, where they're probably not going to be using 3 stars. So, I mean, even that's kind of debatable. But, like, Gravel? I think Gravel has a way better claim than even, like, Shaw. You know? Like, you can actually get Crown Slayer without a pusher on a lot of stages. There's other ways to deal with her. Like pullers are an option as well. There's also split boxing, although you do need you have a time limit on that, right? But if you have a fast redeploy, you can burn her phase and put it on cooldown, and she's not invisible, so you can just do normal damage to her. So like even then, you know, if you think that you have to have Shaw for Crown Slayer, like Gravel could do the same, just in a different way. You use ranged units for damage, and redeploying Gravel, and maybe smartly setting up a few other units so that Gravel gets blocked periodically, and you just burst her down, you know? And that's totally valid. In fact, that's probably better training for later stages and bosses, because you have to split up. You kind of need operators fairly often to be semi-independent and in areas, maybe even just temporarily, in modern content and later stages and infernos and integrated strategies. Not so much with Triple S, but yeah, it's, I don't know. I understand, like, they had Gummy in the store for a long time. It's a little weird to me that I don't have Gummy, but I think that Gummy, like Chapter 4, she's helpful. Chapter 5, I feel like it's mandatory. Like, I'll be in trouble if I go into Chapter 5 and I don't have a Gummy. Like, if I have to use a spot in lieu of a Gummy, it's gonna be a bad time.
弦には3つ
貫く。
弦には3つの戦
貫く。悪くない位置取りだね。
戦っている時は眠らないんだから弦には3つの選択が
みんな私に続け。警戒態勢を維持します。
弓を引いて狙いを定め
貫く。ラテラーノの栄光を背負って戦います。
And this would ideally be Estelle,
ほうか
unless I get a Spectre
私に続け。
or like a Jessica Alter. she's so good.
ここに
I don't understand the hype cycles of some units in this game. There's some units that like I feel like if there's hype around them, it's just because their character and not their kit. And like boring DPS units get the most amount of hype. Like Wizardel has so much hype, and maybe she deserves it. I don't know. But most of the time when DPSs or any operator that's perceived as a DPS gets a ton of hype, they're like, they don't live up to it at all. Like Ling doesn't live up to, she's the most overrated operator in the history of the game. But Typhon did live up to the hype, and she's, boring's not really the right word, but she's basically a pure DPS. She technically has a tiny bit of utility with her bind, but it's a one-time bind, you know, and it primarily helps her as a DPS. How valuable is that versus how valuable is this? Sugar's not super valuable, and Oriron is a staple. So we will stick with Oriron. Or iron, however you say it. Ori iron? I have no idea how you're supposed to say that material name. But like a good example of underrated operators who, you know, like so many people were bragging about skipping Dorothy. Dorothy is as good as Typhon in every way. Well, I guess that technically it's in every way from like how good are they, not in every way in terms of if you're only managing like raw damage or something like that. But like where Dorothy has amazing damage. It's not as much as Typhon, but she has like pretty much true global range and not conditional global range, and she also has true AoE, and she has whatchamacallit, she has totally brain farting on what I was thinking of. She's true AoE, and she also has crowd control, right? And like really good crowd control, not just like one-time crowd control. And you can save up a bunch of mines, you can deploy them, you can kind of set up death zones, and you can be big brain with Dorothy, but you don't have to be. It's not like how people used to talk about summoners like Magallan or Meyer, or even Scene to a lesser degree, where people would say, oh, you know, they're strong, but you have to big brain. They're stronger than a lot of people think. I think that they're not. I think summoners, the strongest summoner, in my opinion, is Deep Color. And I don't, not like literally, but I mean if you're comparing like in their tier. Because Deep Color is a very good 4-star, like an incredible 4-star. It's not that she's stronger than Ling or anything like that, but if you're using Deep Color, it's either for integrated strategies or some other game mode as a late game player where there's some benefit for using lower rarity, or it's because you play 4-star ops. And if you play 4-star ops, like what you get out of Deep Color, you can't get anywhere else. And part of that's that the 4-star roster is the thinnest roster that you can E2, because we get a lot of 6 stars. I think there's more 6 stars than any other single rarity. Like, there's hardly any 1 stars. There's hardly any 2 stars. There's a set number of 3 stars. Like, have we ever gotten a new 3 star? I'm trying to think. I can't think of any. We occasionally get new 4 stars. 5 stars is where we typically get new archetypes for the first time. And then we'll get all the welfare 5 stars. And then oftentimes when new 6 stars come out, new 5 stars come out with them. And sometimes more than 1. So, like, we get a lot of 5 stars. We get a lot of 6 stars. And it's a toss-up between which one there's more of. I'm not sure if there's more 5 or 6 stars. That's a tough one. But there are not actually that many 4 stars. I mean, compared to 3 stars there are. But that's not saying much, you know. And so for anyone that plays low rarity, especially if they're not including 5 star in the mix, or if it's like I Love Amiya, where they have Amiya in every single squad, but no other 5 stars, then Deep Color has this incredible kit. But imagine you're full meta player. Like, when are you going to use Ling? People say trust farming, but trust farming isn't real. Like, I know people will sometimes do it or whatnot, but trust farming is not efficient. It's not important. It doesn't matter. It's not a real thing, right? Like, especially if you're an endgame player, and you just get way more trust per day from the base. You just do. Like, it can be a side benefit if you're trying to optimize getting trust for whatever reason. I mean, people can have whatever goals they want. I'm not judging that. I'm just talking purely like on a utility basis. There's no point to optimizing for trust farming. The only thing I can think of where Ling becomes like a proper discussion for the most valuable operator is like that new vector mode, vector something, I don't remember exactly what it's called, the new vector mode, because it has it's the new version of interlocking competition. So when you use an operator, you can't use that same operator again, and so in that instance, being efficient with squad space, that is where Ling shines. But if you have most of the operators in the game and a lot of stuff built, you're just not going to get that value. And like Chalter got super hyped. People kind of used her for a little bit, and I think people kind of stopped using Chalter before Milnar even came out. Like, Milnar was like the I don't want to say the nail in the coffin. It's not that nobody ever uses her, but it's just not common. People say that she was the most busted operator ever at the time. People nicknamed her Balance, you know, and it's like, does she actually earn that title? And so then you have an operator like Dorothy and everyone's skipping her. And if I had to say who's more valuable to me in my account in terms of use, like Dorothy or Chalter, it's not even a question. You know, if Typhon defines like a new not quite a new power level, I think she's less influential than like Golden Glow, but if you have Bagpipe and Scalter in the upper echelon, then you have Golden Glow, Mudrock, and Typhon, right? She's like in that tier. And then I think Dorothy is as strong as Typhon in an overall utility metric. And yeah, I just feel like most people don't know that. People kind of slept on Executor Alter as well. I think he's the meta starter for integrated strategy. I think Reed Alter is super overrated. She's not bad, but being good at killing the first boss, even like, and you don't even need that. It's not that important. You just need like a handful of operators with some range to clear out the rebel. And like so like Ina's I think is more meta in IS4 than Read Alter. What's this? Oh. I've never seen it shown like that.
おはよう、ドクター。
Oh, because I unlocked this. I'm not going to do any spoilers. That's weird. Does my normal account look like that? That's something I have to pay attention to. What does it want me to see here? What? Oh, I know what it is. I didn't get anything there. Is it this? That's this. I don't care about that. I'll click on all of that later. Yeah, I guess that will conclude the stream today. Again, I don't think I'm going to stream on my main account unless I can think of something interesting to do on it. I guess I'll stream on my main account if I need to just farm on this one to upgrade my ops to like normal stuff. I mean, the skill level 7s and the I don't think I'll do E2 farming. Maybe. I'll have to think about that. But I don't think that's super important right now. I think what is super important is the skill levels and raw levels. And I think I need to level up a few other operators. Because just even trying to stick to 12, I mean, you run into so many issues trying to make like a pusher and puller work or just not have them at all. I really think Estelle could be valuable. Haze is an option. Meteor is an option. Lutanata is an option. And Jay is an option. And like I said, if I need a healer, if I get to the E2 stage and I need to upgrade in healer, then Susuro if I don't have someone else by then. If I have to upgrade Spot, I'm in trouble. That's just a fact. I think Spot's good, but the problem with leveling him up as a new player is that Spot's not his skill. You have to wait for it. You burn it. It goes on cooldown. And that means that he's kind of unreliable for what you generally need to use healing defenders for, which is to deploy in remote areas and then generally keep someone else alive. Because if you don't have to keep someone else alive, then you might as well just use like an op like Lutanata, right? And so, although she wasn't an option back in the day. But I mean like Utage, unless you need to block multiple units. Obviously that's what people like Mountain for. But really any operator that has sustain that can kind of handle those remote jobs, you don't necessarily need a healing defender for that, but you do need a healing defender, and that's generally when you need to keep someone else alive as well, like a ranged operator or something. And if his skill's on cooldown and you don't have like times between waves, which you won't always have the convenience of, then he just doesn't work. And so that's why I said, like, if you don't raise a Gummy, you're in a world of pain unless you have a Sari or a Neural, because Spot can shore up healing, but he doesn't really work for the role that you actually need to have a healing defender for. And you don't really want to build him as a main tank because he'll never be he'll never really have the stats for it. I wish I could show you like E1 max. I mean, I can on my main account, but it's not that important. I think he gets up to like, I don't know, 400 and something. The healing defenders don't have the same stat scaling as even like Liskarm. Liskarm has close to Protector. She used to be called a Protector and not a Sentry. Actually, she was just called a Defender. Everyone was just called Defender. They didn't have these split up into archetypes way back in the day. But she was kind of an odd one out. But her stat scaling is basically that of a Protector. I mean, she has similar stats to like between Kuora and Hoshiguma and operators like that are in that normal archetype. It's just her skills and talents are wonky, and she got, you know, res at E2 and has the 2 talents. Although really, so it's rare that E5s have 2 talents, but I do want to say she does not get a talent upgrade. So this res is her talent upgrade. So she gets 2 talents, but not really. But both these talents are very good. And like I said, that's kind of why I raised her. A lot of people kind of think that she's hard to use or whatnot, and I think that that's only true if you need to tank things like Patriot, which is not what we're going for. And again, the SP battery is very, very powerful, particularly when you're in the issues that I have where I don't even have like skills upgraded very much. So having that battery helps me get more out of that. At any rate, I'll probably... I'm not going to level these guys up off stream tomorrow. I don't know. I'll probably log into this account tomorrow and just set them to burn some sanity and farm off stream. Like, just do boring stuff. Because I really want to be able to... Like, if I have to farm chips for... I don't have to farm chips for her because we bought them in the store. I just need to have experience or whatnot to make sure that she's up to snuff. And then I'll rely on them less. I'll rely on Plume less. I might have to promote her. I've been avoiding it, but I might get forced into that. But I'll do kind of just some errands with this account early in the morning. And then I'll kind of... That way I can think about, without being totally boring on stream, how I want to split the levels. And if, do I want to push somebody into E2 territory to unlock support, which would be the smart thing to do as a new player. But if I'm not using support, I don't know how valuable that is. So that's something else I have to think about. And since I don't have Myrtle, who even is my best bet for that? Is it Lapland, who's going to have pretty high costs, or am I going to do Estelle, because Centurions and Lords are your best first E2s, but like Lapland, I feel like will perform fine when I get her E1 max level, skill level 7. And the reason I feel that way is because I've used her so much in integrated strategies. So I really know what Lapland is capable at that specific power level. I guess I should also say, though, my Lapland is max potential, and this one isn't. So that extra attack is useful. And the talent upgrade doesn't really matter, though. But yeah, she would be a good candidate, just expensive to E2, and that's just something I have to think about. But Estelle, being pure physical, having some self-sustain, and attacking 3 targets at E2 is a worthwhile candidate for first E2 if I don't have a Myrtle. And even if I had a Myrtle without friend support, it might still be better off to do that. I can't... Oh man, it blows my mind I don't have a Cutter as well. Cutter wouldn't be a bad option for that as well. And actually, if I had gotten Bubble, I might have raised her over Kuora. Well, I didn't really raise Kuora. She's not even E1. But it is possible that we have to raise Kuora at some point if I need to tank things and Liskarm just can't. And that might factor into my recommendations as well. In my mind, Liskarm could tank all kinds of things because the defender skills were not generally super necessary to min-max. But, I mean, we've definitely had some issues with Liskarm being squishy for a defender. But again, I feel like that's nothing that trust and levels can't fix. Particularly... Oh, the other thing is, I like, when you have limited resources, I like well-rounded, and the res that she gets, even though it's nothing like crazy, it does make her, especially if you're talking early game, she has more hit points than any of my other units that are going to have res normally have. And since you want people attacking her to give you the SP, it makes her not a great arts tank, but better than anything else that I have. Certainly better than Lapland. Oh, Lapland has res. Does that get buffed? No. Never mind, it doesn't make her better than Lapland. Well, obviously she has more hit points, so in that regard it does, and generates SP, but Lapland has some res. So that's, I didn't even, man. Obviously Arts Guards do too, but I don't think of them as tanks. Alright, so I will sign out here. I didn't get to do anything exciting today. That's a bummer. I was hoping I'd be able to clear the stage here. If I poured resources into my ops to level them and optimized the chains, I'm sure I could. But I also think we need to level other operators, and it's not a huge deal if I get to the end quickly or take longer, because again, I'm not going to be able to do the EX stages. So it is what it is. All right, I'm going to stop babbling and we'll call it here.